Hello, welcome. I am Sally, the owner of Second Wind, and today I'm going to walk you through this DIY slipcover pillow kit. This is a kit that comes with 1 yard of upholstery textiles and 20 inches of zipper. So I'm going to lay this fabric out right side up, take my pillow, then I'm going to use for the insert, measure length and width. This one's about a 21-inch square, so I believe I cut out probably about a 22-inch, 22 and a half. I maybe even went up to 23 to account for the fray of this textile. Looks like I'm cutting 22. You can add or take away from that measurement depending on how tight you want the slipcover to be. There's really no rules. You get to make them. You can always make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger. So measure with your heart. I'm using a chalk pencil here. I really like those. Permanent marker works just fine because you are not going to see these marks. They're going to be hidden within your seam allowance. I'm cutting this rectangle just one piece, and then you're going to need two. So get your other side of your fabric, good sides together. You can match up I'm matching up the pattern here. This is important. And as you cut both pieces, you need them both to be the same size. After you cut both rectangles, we are ready to start on the zipper. Take your zipper, lay it on one side. Noticing here I can do 2 inches at the top, 2 inches at the bottom to accommodate that zipper at 20 inches. So we're going to sew this whole length of the first seam, but 2 inches in and 2 inches before you're done, you'll backstitch. The seam in between those back stitches, most of the length of it will eventually be removed for your zipper opening, as you will see. So start your seam. I'm using about a 3/4 inch seam allowance here. 2 inches in, I'm going to backstitch. That is very important. Now, this stitch here is not permanent. This we will rip out later, as you will see. Coming down. Slow down, use my ruler, say, okay, 2 inches is here, mark it with my index finger, so up to it, back stitch, and come off the seam and trim. Where's my razor blade? There it is. Now, I'm going to finger press this down, and we are moving upstairs to the iron. Make sure it is on permanent press. Do not burn your fabric. That is bad. A lot of this fabric is made of synthetic things. You can Google the fabric details to find exactly what it's made of. Most of it is recycled post-consumer plastics and some natural textiles, but it will burn. Be careful. Now you're taking your zipper, laying this and nesting this inside of this pressed open seam and pinning. As you can see, I'm pinning very carefully on my ironing board to get both layers of fabric and zipper. This is important. My right hand here is anchoring beneath it so I can feel that pin come through and make sure it goes through. I'm left-handed, so reverse this. Sorry, it's confusing to watch a lefty. But as you can see, I'm going in and making sure this zipper is exactly centered on that seam. You can get your hand underneath it. Take your time here. This is this is going to ensure that the zipper is placed properly, and the edge of your zipper tape should line right up with the raw edge of your seam. Zipper pull is in the middle. Make sure you don't move that pull too much. And I am doing a perpendicular pin at the start and stop point. And just getting some last minute pins in. Sometimes I take them out and readjust them. This won't be quick, so take your time there. Now we are removing the presser foot and putting on a zipper foot. Use a narrow foot, starting at the top of one seam, coming down right along the edge of the zipper and removing the pins as I go, using my fingers, all like little awls. AWL is the tool that you can get. I just like to use all my fingers. Honestly, I break all my awls because I use them like pry bars. I'm going to say now what I do. So here I'm stopping at the zipper and I'm moving that zipper pulled down so I don't sew right next to it. My fingers again, where the pins have come out, my fingers are acting like pins and moving with the machine as it pulls. remove the pins before you get to them. I'm moving them to a magnet off camera. And when you get down to the bottom, needle in, press your foot up, rotate. Come down, make sure you back stitch here. I'm going to doing 3, so forward, backward, pin down. After turning, press your foot down. We are coming back on the other side of the zipper, and we are going to reach a stopping point about center where that zipper pull is, and back stitch, because we are going to need to make room for that zipper pull to move. It is a little wide using a number 5 zipper, but it's sturdier for upholstery, so I prefer this over invisible zippers. And you're going to come to this back side and open up the stitch that I told you was temporary, just in the center where the zipper pull is. This will allow you to move that zipper pull to where it's already been sewn, but you've ripped out that center seam. Now come back where you had back stitched and finish this last line. Pulling the pins out as you go. Get to the bottom. Now I have turned one last time and connect this. And that seam is finished. Now turning this over where we had started to rip that seam out, you're going to continue. You can use a seam ripper here. I have decades of sewing experience, so I am using a razor blade because I know exactly how deep that razor can go before and not hit the zipper. But as a beginner, use a seam ripper. So as you cut the seam, there will be little itty bitty threads that you can pull out with your fingers, clean it up a bit. You can see it looks like, oops, I split the zipper. Nope, the zipper pull can close that right back up. So I am going to just kind of pick at some of these. I'm not aiming for thread check perfection at this point. We still have a lot of sewing to do, but that zipper is opening and closing, and we are on to the next step. We are going to now lay this back, good sides together, bad sides out, and I'm showing you these are the 3 seams left to do. This is where you can trim up your raw edges, match them a little better. As you can see, I didn't cut the squarest rectangle, and I fixed that up off camera. Now I'm using these little clips. Keep it together. You can use pins, you can use pins, sewing clips, or these little binder clips. Here I'm doing about a 3/4 inch seam allowance, folding the raw edges of that previous seam down towards the pillow. And I'm only going to do this first edge here. I'm not going to turn and continue to do the other 2 because I want to start at the zipper and come off the edge. Trim threads, flip it 180, do the other end of the zipper. Fold the raw edges down towards the pillow covers, excuse me. And this is sped up. I don't actually sew that fast. It's a fast machine, but it is video editing. Now at this point I will turn. Notice I back stitched at the end of that seam because when you clip the corners you don't want to lose that stitch. When in doubt, lock the seam in place with reverse. Now we are done. Now all you got to do is clip the corners. You can clip them a little neater than this. Again, I'm not aiming for perfection. This is a prototype tutorial. And it's a big throw pillow. It doesn't got to be perfect. You just have to enjoy what you're doing, and it's useful. It's a great way to revive your living room, expand your sewing skills. Here's the thread check I was talking about. I'm going to go through and just pick all those little bits. And turning these corners can be tricky because this is thick textiles. Just you can use chopsticks, the edges of your shears. Now you stuff the insert in, a little thread check, and zipper closed. Look at that. This took me about 35 minutes, maybe, start to finish. But I was going between my sewing room downstairs and upstairs to do the sewing and cutting. Enjoy! I hope you all have fun making this pillow. Nico likes it.